Marketing. Marketing is probably one of the most misunderstood terms in all of business. So marketing really is just telling people about your stuff. It's really that simple. Now, marketing gets complicated because it gets lopped in with sales. It gets talked about in an attribution sense. It gets talked about return on ad spend and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, marketing is telling people about your stuff. Now, why does it take so long for marketing to turn into a result? And this is especially important to understand on the internet because everybody feels that the internet is instant. You publish something and you see an instant result. You're like, wow, everything can be done that way. But the reason that marketing takes so long is that you're dealing with human beings. And human beings don't turn on a dime. Now, granted, there are a few. There are the early adopters that see something and that are impulsive and that will go and buy something right away. But the vast majority of human beings take around 90 days in order to make a decision. Now, the question is, why is that? Why does it take a human being so long to make a decision? So one of the things I always talk to my team about is that the reason that it takes a human being that long to make that decision is actually goes back to prehistoric man. And it's a defense mechanism that we have where when we used to walk a path and we'd walk along a dirt road and we'd see a bush. And in that bush, the first time we walk by it, we say, oh, that's just the bush, that's just a bush. And we walk by it enough times, and then we start to see little red berries show up in the bush. And those little red berries, they catch our attention. But at first you're like, we'll let that go by. And a couple more days go by and some more berries come in. So then what you would do is you would go into the local village and you would say, hey, does anybody seen that bush that was along the trail? People are like, no, and I didn't really notice it. And you're like, I think it's got some berries in it. And they're like, oh, yeah, did you try one? No, I haven't tried it yet. Well, let us know once you try one. So then the person walks by the bush a few more times, more berries, they get brighter, they get looking more delicious. And then eventually someone takes the leap and tries one of those berries. They try the berry and it turns out that they don't die from it and they don't get sick from it and it's delicious. And so what do? They go to the village and they say to the people there like, hey, I just tried a bunch of those berries on that bush that's out there. They're so good. They're so delicious. You should try them. And then the people that they've told that to, they now need to start the journey that the other person took, which took them maybe 30 days or so to get there. They need to start that journey for themselves. So they go back and they start walking along the path and they start seeing the berries and they get a little bit nervous. Maybe I don't want to try it. Maybe, Jody said that they were good berries, so maybe I should try it. Okay, 5 or 6 days later, then they try it. And then they try it and they're like, oh, these are really good. And then what happens is they tell people. And now the new people that hear it, they're like, well, I've heard from Jody and I've heard from this other person that these are good berries. Maybe I should try it. And then they have to start their path from the beginning. So you can very quickly see how long you have to market your product before people start to snowball and purchase it. Because when you're talking about the internet in general, you're dealing with such a huge village. There are so many people in that village that in order for you to get any real market penetration in there so that, enough people are talking that are in the same loops and stuff like that, purchase the item that you're selling or try out the item that you're selling, is it just takes exponentially longer than what it would do if you were just doing it to a small room of people. So a couple things. Number one, people underestimate the actual size of the internet and how massive it is, how many billions of people are on it, and how little your ads are being shown to the same people, right? The second thing is it just takes a really long time for humans to become comfortable to make an investment that includes risk. And risk can include anything from health risk, so eating the berries and dying, maybe take them a little longer to figure out that they want to do that, or it could be from a financial risk. I'm going to give you money and I'm expecting a return coming back. And so ultimately, when we're talking about marketing and you're thinking about doing some online marketing, you really need to make sure that you budget to do it for a long enough period. My advice to the clients that I work with, 90 days minimum. That's what you want to be thinking about when you're doing your marketing. You want to go 90 days because that's going to give you enough time for the person who first saw your ad to review it, think about it, save for it, purchase it. Now, obviously, if you start an ad, Google is going to send you high intention people. But Google still needs some time to learn about the people that have come to your website. So when Google has a person who clicks through the website, they look at their profile and then they look and find other people that are a similar profile and they test that to see if those people are actual buyers and that have good intention. And then once those buyers go through, then they start figuring out, okay, this is the type of person that is going to like this product. And so that also takes time. So you have a number of factors involved when putting out a marketing campaign that you want to make sure have been triggered before you turn it off to say that it didn't work. So you don't ever want to be in a position where you've gone and tried a marketing campaign, you've only run it for 2 weeks, you haven't seen a result, and then you're like, this doesn't work for me, I now need to go and do something else. I need to find another place. The stuff works, you just have to run it long enough. The other piece of this puzzle is if you shut off your ads, you're going to have to start again. So you want to make sure that if you're shutting off your ads, that you're going to be shutting them off because you're no longer going to be offering that product, or you're no longer be going down that path, or you've determined that it doesn't have the right kind of conversion. But the ads that are working, you want to keep them working for as long as possible. And this is kind of why it's important to look at your attribution, because your attribution will tell you if your ads are impacting. And attribution is a balancing of like where people went through on their customer journey. Now, if you're interested in attribution and you're interested in learning more about that, I'm thinking I'm going to talk about attribution and how that all works in the next business video, which is going to be coming up in 2 weeks. The video after this is going to be on more digital nomad stuff. So tune in next week when I post that one on digital nomad stuff. In the meantime, I run an online community called Expert by Monday where we talk about business and we talk about digital nomading. So if you have questions around marketing, if you have questions around things that maybe you have tried and you're looking for answers and you don't know where to go join our community. It's totally free. I hang out in there. Ask me a question, ask the marketing my whole marketing team is in there as well. So if you have specific questions, we can get you answers for the things that you're looking for. Go and check that out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and do that. But most importantly, join the Expert by Monday community, and we'll see you guys next week.